Shalom, I'm Megan with Curt Landry Ministries, and today I am so excited that we are getting to have a conversation with Tamar, who is the director of the Young Adult Program from Yeladim, which is the Safe House program that Curt Landry Ministries, that we've been so honored to support actually since 2011. So we've been supporting this program for 10 years, and I'm also here with Curt Landry, who is the founder of our organization, and I think we should just jump right in. So Tamar, can you tell us today a little bit about the Bridge to Independence program, the young adult program, and kind of why it's so important?
Yeah, is an NGO in Israel that supports all the welfare and the kids at welfare boarding school in Israel. And the Bridge to Independence is a program that's designed to help the young adults who graduate the boarding school without family backings, the age of 18 till 25, 26. They don't have a place to go to. They don't have any parents to support them. So we do it instead of the parents. And we have an apartment that we give the young adults all along Israel, from Haifa in the north to Beersheba in the south. And these apartments are only for them. They live 6 young adults, male and female separately, and they having their own life, independent life. They're going to serve the army, they're going to work, and they're going to academic school. And the whole program is designed to give them a better future, give them the tools to design the better future for themselves, to break out the poverty circle in Israel where they grew from. And thank you for your support, for Curt, Landry, and the dear support we receive from you. We can actually do it and help them build a better future in Israel.
That's awesome. Can you tell us, Tamar, a little bit? I know that Curt Landry Ministries, that we have a boy apartment and a girl apartment now that we support fully. Can you tell us what would happen if those apartments did not exist? Like if this program, Bridge to Independence, was not in play, what would life look like for these Israeli youth? Where would they be?
Okay, so you support actually 2 apartments, one in Jerusalem in Beit HaKerem neighborhood for young girls, and one in Tel Aviv for young boys. And it's actually 12 young people that without the Bridge to Independence program would have to go and find the way alone, which means they're going to serve the military without someone to call them and ask how they're doing, or will find out if they have all the rights they need to receive from the army, or from the state, from the welfare ministry, or from the health organization in Israel. They will probably get lost. Part of them probably won't have even a good place to come back from the military. They won't have their own bed. No one will actually take their situation in consideration, and what happens with them. And after the military, even the challenges getting bigger, because you actually need to find yourself in life. You need to find a decent home to live. You need to be in a relationship with a young boy and young girl, and you want to be in a good relationship, not something that is not right for you, or violent, or whatever the possibilities are. You need to find a decent occupation. You need to learn something good that you can actually work and receive and pay money to be on your own. And without this support of yours, probably we wouldn't do it. I mean, we couldn't help them, probably not in the same amount of help they need to be helped.
Right. One of the things that was explained to us as a family a few years ago was, at some point, the Yeladim program started to see what you just said about like breaking that cycle, that circle, that they started to see that where they were actually, children that had been a part of the residential care program were coming, they were having children, and the next generation was starting to cycle back through, because there wasn't a Bridge to Independence program to create a healthy foundation in these young adults. So from 18 to 24, you are truly breaking that cycle, helping them make good decisions so that when they do become parents, that they're married and happy and raising, happy, healthy next generation. So I think that this program is a link it's such a necessary answer to the overall problem. We can't just take care of them when they're, under 18. So Curt, can you tell us a little bit about your heart for this program, your background, why this program is so important to us, not only as a family, but as a ministry?
Yeah, Tamar, in fact, I'm going to send this to you. Our story is here. I've actually got my book in Hebrew. It's called Reclaiming Our Forgotten Heritage. So I'll get you a few copies of this so that you can actually,
Be delighted. Thank you.
But what really, the bottom line is this, is that I was born in an orphanage on Skid Row in Los Angeles at City of Angels Hospital. And after 6 months, I was blessed to be adopted by a family. And that really took very good care of me. I mean, it was just a normal middle class to lower middle class family and normal existence. But I had boundaries and I had good education and love and support. And I often think to myself, what would have happened if let's say I would have been in a foster care system, or what happens if I didn't have some structure and boundaries put around me? Would I be where I am today? And I think it's interesting that 11, 12 years ago, we had a tour that we were bringing to Israel. And I actually had a meeting scheduled with the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu. And he wanted to see my wife and I. And as happens sometimes, it wasn't an official meeting. It was just, hey, you're in town. Would you come by and see us for a little bit? I want to share something with you. And so we went into the Knesset and all that takes. And when we got there, the meeting with the Prime Minister got canceled because there was actually a crisis that hit. And so we met with one of his directors, and she said to us, it was interesting because she had a young baby with her. She wasn't supposed to be in the meeting, and it was at that nursing season and everything else. So Christy and I are in there, and she's nursing her baby, and we love babies. We have grandchildren. We love our children. And she said, well, what the Prime Minister wanted to talk about, because he said he knows your story and he knows your heart, because we had worked on projects before with children. He said, he's asking you, would you consider asking your partners to help take care of our children? And it was a personal request. And I said, well, absolutely. And so that's kind of how this got started, because I feel like, when you're blessed, you have a responsibility to be the hero and to be blessed. And so we started out with all of the care of the larger apartments. And, at that time there was 12,000 children. I don't know how many are in the program now. It's probably at least that, if not more. But the Bridge of Independence really moved my heart, because that time between 18 and 25, it is critical. And the fact that we have house moms and house dads that are counselors that can be there for them. They have curfew. They have to follow the rules. Just yesterday, I got, we're going to come to Israel soon, but just yesterday, I got a Facebook invitation from one of our girls who has graduated the program, been with us in our house from the very beginning. She's married. She has a beautiful husband. The cycle has been broken. And she sent an invitation to Christy and I. She said, would you come to Beersheba and have dinner at our house? And these are like kids to us. So we feel like Sabanana, we feel we're still connected afterwards, and we love what you're doing, and we so support it. But that's how we got involved.
Amazing. You're talking about Ortal, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You mentioned Beersheba,
but
yeah,
and we are. We're going to go.
Amazing.
What a beautiful story, And we've known her since she was like a baby to us. I think she was 17, 18 when she came.
Yeah, when she first got into the Beta Kerem apartment, she was 18.
Yeah. So anyway, so we've watched her grow up, and we're so proud of her, and we feel that way about all the kids, and not just the ones in our program. And here's the thing: I was blessed I had an uncle, it was my godfather in our culture, and he was my Uncle Lou. And he said, if you're not willing to invest in yourself, don't expect others to invest in you. And so many people have invested into my life. And I'm so thankful to all of them. And so now it's time where I feel like I can reach out to the evangelical community and say, invest into these young people's lives. I mean, you know, we're New Testament believers. We're Jewish, and Yeshua said, when you do it unto the least of these, my brethren, when you give, you do it unto me. And I feel like that's what this is. This is to the least. This is the potential. This is where they're at a crossroads where if you'll help them, they're going to be great. And, you know, one of our young boys that's in our house, when I interviewed him, I asked him, I said, if we didn't have this house, if it didn't come and you got this invitation, where would you be? And he told me he would be on drugs under a bridge. And that's how real. I mean, he just said it. Megan was there. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is so real what we're doing. And so I want to thank you all, and we're honored to help you.
Yeah, it's one of
really a dramatic period in their life. In the course of life, the age of 18 is really the point that you need to assist them, to give them the bridge to independence, as the name of the program, because Israel spends so much money in giving them the boarding school, which is not like in USA, in United States, actually you get foster care. In Israel, it's more like boarding schools. 7,000 young kids living in Israel in boarding schools. And it's a very different way of living. And you get so much, you don't get enough critical knowledge about how to live your life properly, how to take care of your health, how to take care of your money, how to invest your money, how to even cook, right? Even cook, or basic stuff that everyone, even in a foster care, can know because he was watching, he's learning from his environment. And those young adults didn't have the right environment to develop as they need, as their peer group. So we try to give them whatever they can get at this point of time, to give them the bridge to move on.
It's amazing. Well, Tamar, it's always our honor to support you guys and what you do and your heart for these young adults. I know our donors are part of that bridge, and it's one of our greatest honors. We love, this is not just a program to us. This is about the people and the kids, and we love being a part of it. So can we rewind a little bit, and can you tell us what was life like, let's say, 2019, early 2020, before everything came to a screeching halt? Like, I don't know what you were doing. I remember where I was when I remember where I was when I think life started shifting. We had just had a baby, and we were traveling home from an extended time away. And I was trying to order some type of sanitizer, just like hand sanitizer that I always carried in a diaper bag. And I couldn't find it anywhere. And I said to Paul, I was like, what is happening? And we had been so disconnected. I'm like, why is everybody out of hand sanitizer? And then I just remember we came home and life spiraled. The next week we shut down. Everything changed. So can you tell us what was happening pre-COVID? What did life look like? And then how did that shift impact these kids that we care so much about?
Pre-COVID was as normal years as every other year. We were on our way doing plans, making plans for the summer to receive new kids from the boarding school. Around July, August, all the young adults finished the boarding school, arrive to the apartments, and the grown-ups leave, and we do a nice farewell party and say goodbye. So we were on our way to receive another year of full work, and Steph was on his regular day-to-day missions and helping those young adults. And then we start to receive the information about the COVID getting to Israel, and all of us, all of the staff, even if our private life had been shifted dramatically, and we needed to be there for the young adults as much as we needed to be for our families and our grown-up parents, and it was a very difficult time for everybody. But the young adults, most of them, at one time, all of the work stopped, all the girls who does a national survey had stopped their national volunteering work, and all the soldiers were cut out from the apartment and stayed a long period in the base camp with the army, and everyone were panicked. The money suddenly ran out for everybody, and we start collecting food and delivering food to the apartment because we weren't sure when they're going to go to the supermarket, how much money do they have. We knew that they can survive for 1, 2, 3 weeks, but we didn't know for how long this period is going to last. And we did a full organization about really like taking food from one place to another, giving them money, extra money for all the apartment, and of course to be there. We were 24/7 online with the young adults, on the phone, on the WhatsApp, and on the apartment themselves. We had a special documents to ensure us you can drive. Even when everyone was in a lockdown, our staff could drive and go to the apartment to see the young adults. And the anxiety were very, very rough. They were all 6 young adults together without even knowing what's going to happen, where their real life, the normal life, as we knew them, when it's going to come back. They didn't have money. They didn't have the family backings, as we know. So it was a very hard time. We needed to do a real fundraising for all the special needs that we found them. Even our students, everybody had to have laptop and Wi-Fi, a decent Wi-Fi to learn, and then a decent place to sit and be free to absorb new academic material. It was a difficult time. It was a few months. And then there was like a sense of going back to normality in the summer, and everyone got back to their routine. And suddenly around September, I think in Israel, everything went back again, and we went to another lockdown. And then the people who actually could manage emotionally in the first lockdown, the second one was really dramatic. It was the holidays also, which holidays is every year really emotional time for our young adults because they're not coming home for Rosh Hashanah meal or for the Yom Kippur Tzom. So it's already an emotional time. Yeah. And September was really, really a point of breaking. I think also for our staff as well. It was like we were on a very high gear the whole time. And trying to do our best for the young adults, and staff we didn't know as well what time, how long we need to keep on with the effort to keep everything together, and it was very hard. So they can go back to work in hospitals, in kindergarten, going back to their real day-to-day life. Not all of them could find a decent job to go back to, especially in the suburbs, in the north and in Jerusalem and in the south, where the occupation thing is to begin with, it's complicated. And now after the COVID-19 is even more complicated. We're trying to find them a decent occupation. We're trying to receive every amount of assistance they can get at this certain time, and especially a high need of emotional therapy, of counseling, helping them to think about the past year, to receive new thoughts about how to build their own life. All the young adults who finished army last year and had big hopes to work and to find themselves a decent place and to go after bridge independence to their true independence, and had to rethink and recalculate their route because there weren't a place to work to. When they finished the army, everything was just shut down. And now we're trying to rebuild the destination from all of them.
So post-COVID, though, after everything starts kind of opening up, you guys go through a major attack with rockets barraging the land, and so it's just like from one really traumatic thing to the next. How are our young adults doing with everything that happened through from Gaza and all the rockets and all of the sirens, and how are they doing?
Yeah. Again, for me personally, as a mother for 3 young kids, it was a really stressful time. We end up leaving our house and going up north to family because it was just unbearable. It was unbearable. We couldn't stand it. And for the young adults as well, it was 10 or 11 days when almost half of Israel was bombarded on a daily basis. Our young adults in Jerusalem, in Beersheba, in Rehovot, in Tel Aviv, in Ramat Gan, in all the area were all the time at high tension, need to be in alert the whole time, but going to a safe house to defend your life, actually. No other way to put it. It was horrible, really. I'm glad it's over. I hope it won't come again soon. And we need now, after the COVID-19, after we had like a small sense of normality, of going back to routine, everything went up again, and now everyone who had encountered this stressful situation again needs our assistance to get back on his feet, to rebuild his trust in the world. I think I'm not sure exactly who we need to trust now, and to find a way to keep on functioning and every day go to work for the military service or whatever the mission is, and to do it on the best way he had to, because he needs to feed himself and needs to take care of himself. Part of them were actually at the ground as the soldiers, where they're first row, which is traumatic. But I'm not sure the trauma will find them now. Maybe later after they finish their military service, and then probably things will meet them personally. But it was difficulty after difficulty, and we hope that it's really the end now.
Yes.
And that's our prayer as we pray for the peace of Jerusalem and all of Israel. In fact, we do it every day. So let me, how can we help you with this emotional trauma? Is there a way that our partners can, I'm just throwing it out, a question is like, do you have a plan? And is there any way that our partners can say, boy, I've heard this story. This is traumatic. I mean, you go from COVID, you have a few weeks of normalcy, and then the attack from Gaza comes, and over 3,000 rockets covering the state, and red alerts going off, and just like you, praise the Lord that you had a family that you could leave where you are and go up to Haifa and get out of that with your 3 young children. But these children are stuck in the apartments, and both apartments were constantly in those red alert areas. And so what plan does Yeladim have to, if you do have a plan, to minister to these kids emotionally? Because I really think this is like a post-traumatic stress. Do you have a plan? And if you do have a plan, how could we support or help or consider supporting and helping that?
First of all, thank you for asking. Part of our young adults already came to our program with a post-traumatic stress. the things they had been through in life as a young kids even, and after in the boarding school, they already had amount of post-traumatic stress, and those time actually just give it even they make it even stronger, and the stress becomes more visible and more functioning, getting less and less independent. So we give them support, the emotional support that they need to. Part of them needs straight away to go to the psychiatry, to see them, to relax them. Part of them even started to take a medicine for a short time, I hope, but to get through these rough times. But the majority just need to have personal counseling, personal therapy. We actually look for therapists, private therapists, not through any health organization. Private therapy as each of one of us would take ourselves or our children, very close to their home, as easy as it could be for them to enjoy of this therapy, and we connect with the therapist, the Yeladim organization, not the young adults by themselves, and we give them. We actually subsidizing the therapy, which is not that easy to find a therapist, and each young adult could receive clinic, private therapy for a year, even a year and a half, week by week, to get them to talk about the stress, to talk about the trauma, to give a place to all this stressful thoughts he carried with him, and the amount of the young adults who need it at every single moment is endless. All of them actually need that. We at Yeladim give every year kind of like 30 young adults receive this therapy, but now in the past year we needed even I don't know, double the amount of young adults who ask for it. More psycho-diagnosis evaluations about what is the right therapy for them, which way we need to go with them. So actually, yeah, that's what we need. We need to support them with the private clinics that we can find for them, and give them a full recovery at the therapy with someone professional.
Okay. Well, Tamar, thank you so much for sharing that with us and with all those who are joining us and listening in. It's definitely a need that we would like to help support. You know, we want to not just give these kids a home and house parents. I mean, that's all amazing, but we want to send them out strong and sure and healed and restored and not broken. And there's no shame in brokenness, but we all need guidance through that. So as we kind of wrap up today, I would love to just know briefly a little bit about you and your heart for Yeladim, why you're on staff there. We've had over the last 10 years multiple contacts, and I know that you guys kind of rotate in and out, and I can only imagine it's because it's a very high stress, hard position. And also, like, your heart as a mother, like, I can't you know, I used to have a heart for this program, and then I became a mom almost 6 years ago. And now it's just like, I can't even handle it without weeping, because I just, you know, I love my babies so much, and I just can't. I know your heart as a mom must just shine through in everything you do. So can you tell us why you're passionate about this cause and like how your heart is connected?
I'm a social worker, and as I finished my degree, I started working at the boarding school in Kfar Saba. And I worked there for a few years. And when I had my first baby, I left the boarding school because it was too stressful. And then I came to Eladim. It was 7 years ago. But as a mom, I think that knowing these young adults or the young children at the boarding schools needs and to find them, to find me, give him an answer for those needs. That's what keeps me going every day to work. I just meeting them and see them and knowing that you actually did something good, you actually helped, and we can't help everybody, and we know that we there are people on the way that we lose them or we couldn't reach them enough, but we tried, we do our best. I think Yeladim is one of the greatest places to work, honestly. Maybe I'm not objective, but I really do think, though, that it's a great place to be there. We think creative. We see the children and the young adults, and we truly see them as our clients, not as seeking for a hand to. They're not poor. They're not miserable. They are good kids with poor reality, and we try to give them a better reality, and we stand there with them with pride, and you deserve it. You deserve a better chance. You deserve a better future. Your parents couldn't do it, so our job, we took the job to be as good as a decent parent would be for you, and that's what keeps me comes every day to work with almost every day with a big smile.
Oh, we're so proud of you, and we pray for you. And of course, we love to support this project. And for all of our Curt Landry Ministry, Mishpacha, our family of Curt Landry Ministries, I want to thank you so much for supporting Yeladim. Yeladim in Hebrew means the children. And these children, you're their hero. You're facilitating a literal bridge of independence. You're supporting them at a time when it is absolutely critical for them to have some guidance, even in their hormones and in their life and in the trauma. And if there was ever a time in the 10 years that we needed you to support, it would be now, because of COVID and then the Gaza war and that post-traumatic stress. They need to find their way. I'm really moved by the need of them needing the therapy and the counseling. And I love the fact that Yeladim, and this is how they always do it in excellence, they're looking for the best in the private sector to be able to bring the best care to these children. And I need to hear from you. I need to know, is this something that you will help with? I know that Christy and I can tell you right now, we're going to do something. We will support this need. But we want you to partner with us if you're being moved by this and the Lord has blessed you with the ability to help. I would like to be able to help with this special need. You know, we obviously want to increase our apartment support, but I think right now we need to really kind of narrow our focus down and say, listen, our kids have a need and we're going to meet it. And I don't know how we're going to do that, but I need to hear from you. And so if you're watching this program, please go in the chat and let us know what you think. And if you can help us and in any way, please let us know, because we want to be able to be there during this special time of need, and we need you to be those heroes.
Well, Tamar, Curt, thank you so much for speaking with us today. Thank you so much for sharing your heart and opening your home. I know, as you mentioned, you're a mom to 3 young kids, so I appreciate you taking this evening and letting us hear about an update from our kids in Israel. And so, as Curt said to our audience, thank you so much for watching today. Please do send us a message, chat us on our website. Let us know if you're interested in helping. You can also sow directly online at curtlandry.com/safe. That's curtlandry.com/safe. SAFE, and your support will go towards these apartments and possibly this mental health expansion. We're waiting to hear kind of our donor hearts on where you're at, and if this is where your heart is beating, if we can get behind it. We desire, as always, to expand our support and to do this under the least, to the least of these. Truly, truly his brethren. So thank you so much for joining us today. We send you lots of love and shalom from Curt Landry Ministries.
Thank you.